What are you talking about? By the Sly for Vaughn comments. They be seeing Sly for Vaughn. I think they trolling me.
No reason, I just don't see the comments no more.
Cameras captured the aftermath.
No! This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
We want to begin now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk is...
Brace yourselves, because what just happened to Lil Durk makes the Kardashians look like they're playing UNO at a family picnic. The courtroom didn't just shake, it erupted. Fans were screaming, lawyers were pacing, and Durk looked like he just watched the season finale of his own life without a spoiler warning. One wrong move, one unexpected twist, and suddenly the judge dropped a sentence. So shocking, the entire internet forgot how to blink. This wasn't your regular court update. Oh no, this was a plot twist, so Wild Zeus Network is probably trying to license it. Rumors were swirling, whispers were spreading, and the streets claimed they knew what was coming. But absolutely nobody predicted this ending. It's the kind of twist that shuts down barbershops, freezes timelines, and has every blogger typing like rent is due tonight, because when the judge stood up and delivered that final ruling, it felt like someone hit the detonate drama button. Fans fainted. Ops celebrated. Rap Twitter went into cardiac arrest. It was chaos, confusion, and disbelief rolled into one explosive moment. And trust me, the real story behind this sentencing. It's darker, messier, and way more twisted than anybody imagined. Let's dive in. The courtroom buzz started long before Lil Durk even stepped inside. It felt like the air itself was vibrating with secrets, tension, and the type of energy that tells you something historic is about to explode. Fans were refreshing their phones like they were trying to buy Beyoncé tickets, while the haters were sharpening their keyboards ready to tweet. I knew it before the judge even spoke. This wasn't just another rapper in court headline. This was the moment hip-hop collectively held its breath, because the fate of one of Chicago's biggest names was about to be revealed. In a twist that made every legal drama on Netflix look like child's play for years. Durk moved through controversy like a man walking through fire without getting burned. Every charge, every rumor, every headline, somehow he dodged them with the grace of a cat wearing Timbs. But this case was different. This one had layers, witnesses, dates, footage, accusations, lawyers, detectives, blog detectives, Reddit detectives, and aunties who claimed they heard something from someone who knows someone. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone had a theory. Everyone was just waiting for that hammer to fall. The original incident that sparked the madness feels like a lifetime ago in rapper years, where 12 months equals 5 seasons of chaos. The shooting outside the Varsity restaurant became one of those urban legends that lived in reruns on every gossip page. A man gets shot, surveillance footage captures figures running, shell casings appear, and suddenly Durk's name is plastered everywhere like he personally printed the headlines. The charges were serious enough to make even the toughest rapper blink twice. Attempted murder, aggravated assault, possession, intent, the kind that stack up like Jenga blocks waiting to collapse. But what made the situation even messier was the amount of misinformation swirling around. Some fans swore Durk had a rock-solid alibi. Others claimed they heard from a cousin's friend's barber that Durk was in the car. Some believed the footage exonerated him. Others said the footage buried him. The rumors spiraled into their own mini-universe where nobody knew what was real anymore. Even trolls started making fake court transcripts like they were doing community service for clout. Then came the cooperators. The witnesses? The people online claiming they knew the truth. The blogs feeding off the smallest details like raccoons at a midnight buffet. Every time someone posted a screenshot with Durk's name, the internet broke into a sprint. Every new rumor had fans pacing, critics celebrating, and the industry bracing for a fallout that could shake everything. Meanwhile, Durk maintained an image of calm that drove the internet insane. He wasn't panicking online. He wasn't dropping frantic messages. He wasn't posting cryptic prayers with sad emojis. He went silent in a way that told you he wasn't just fighting the case. He was preparing for whatever outcome the world was not ready for. Every once in a while, he'd drop a lyric that made fans freeze. Hints about loyalty, betrayal, the system, the streets, the truth. People dissected those bars like scientists examining alien DNA, but the real chaos erupted when rumors surfaced that prosecutors had something unexpected. Nobody knew what that meant, which only made the speculation spread like wildfire. Some people swore it was new footage. Others claimed it was a witness flipping. A few said it was forensic evidence. And one corner of the internet with way too much imagination insisted someone told the full story in exchange for a deal. Whether any of that was real didn't matter. When the internet smells blood, it becomes its own court system as the hearing approached. Celebrity blogs treated it like the Super Bowl. Thumbnail artists were cooking like chefs during a dinner rush. TikTok lawyers started popping up explaining imaginary statutes. Everyone was preparing for a historic verdict, no matter what the verdict actually was. Fans prayed. Critics laughed. The music world sat on edge. Even rappers who weren't involved indirectly felt the tension, because when one star falls, the whole constellation shakes. The day of the decision arrived with the kind of intensity that could power a small city. Reporters lined up early. Fans camped on live streams. The hashtag #FreeDurk hashtag sprinted up the trending list before breakfast. Inside the courtroom, every sound felt amplified. The shuffle of papers, the click of pens, the whispers of lawyers. Durk sat there with a calmness that looked supernatural. But everyone could sense the weight pressing on him. Years of speculation, fear, accusations, and pressure culminating in one single moment. Before the judge even spoke, the prosecution laid out their final stance with a level of confidence that had the internet chewing its nails. They recounted their narrative piece by piece. The incident, the footage, the evidence, the testimony, the patterns, the connections. They painted Durk as the orchestrator, the participant, the figure at the center of it all. And they did it with the type of seriousness that made even the most loyal Durk fan feel a crack of uncertainty. But Durk's team came prepared. They dismantled everything the prosecution claimed with surgical precision. Every timeline was questioned. Every assumption was challenged. Every witness was scrutinized. They made the prosecution look like they were grasping at smoke. They brought receipts, documentation, technicalities, expert analysis, the whole nine. But most importantly, they stressed one thing: evidence must be proof, not speculation dressed in confidence. Then came the twist. Stunning revelation from the defense that shifted the energy in the room like someone turned off gravity. Something the public never saw coming. Something buried behind sealed files and quiet legal movements. The internet had theories for months, but nobody expected the truth to be this explosive. And when the revelation hit, even the prosecutors looked thrown off, scrambling to recalculate everything they'd built their case on. From that moment on, the tension transformed into electricity. Every word mattered. Every phrase was a dagger. Every pause made hearts pound. Because everyone knew the next thing that came out of the judge's mouth was going to determine not just Durk's immediate future, but the entire trajectory of his life, his career, and hip-hop's landscape. The room leaned in. The world leaned in. Even people who didn't care about rap leaned in. And then the judge lifted his eyes. That's when everything changed. The moment news of Durk's courtroom bombshell hit the streets. The internet didn't react, it detonated. Timelines froze, notifications exploded, and fans started typing essays longer than their college dissertations. It was like watching the entire hip-hop community suddenly forget how to breathe. People were screenshotting every rumor, refreshing every blog, stalking every lawyer's Twitter like they were waiting for a Beyoncé album drop. This wasn't just a legal update. This was a digital earthquake. Suddenly, theories started flying faster than rappers dropping subliminals. Some fans swore Durk had been set up. Others claimed this was karma sprinting at full speed with no brakes. Meanwhile, a small but loud group insisted the whole thing was industry politics. Which is rich coming from people who think the Illuminati meets at Chick-fil-A after hours. Every corner of the internet turned into a courtroom. Except the lawyers were replaced with meme pages and professional overthinkers. Then came the celebrity reactions. And that's when things became hilariously chaotic. Rappers who haven't seen Durk in years suddenly posted cryptic messages about loyalty. Producers he hasn't texted since 2018 started offering prayers. Even washed-up influencers crawled out of retirement to make the moment about themselves. You would think Durk was being crowned King of Chicago the way everyone performed their grief online. But the funniest part, half the people reacting had zero idea what the charges even were. They just jumped aboard the chaos train like it was a Black Friday sale. At the same time, Durk's haters started celebrating like they won a Grammy. They posted old clips, old cases, old interviews, remixing them like they were dropping a diss track. Comments flooded with "I knew it" energy from people who didn't even know what city Durk was born in. It was the type of internet hypocrisy that only appears when a celebrity takes a hit. The same people who praised him last month were suddenly moral philosophers. But the real chaos began when court reporters leaked bits of information that didn't match the earlier rumors. That's when confusion turned into full-on frenzy. People were piecing together quotes like detectives in a conspiracy documentary. One report said the judge was unmoved. Another claimed Durk's body language shifted. Someone else tweeted that the courtroom felt tense, like this was an episode of Power and not a real case. Fans started arguing over which detail was true, as if they were debating sports stats. Meanwhile, memes were multiplying like rabbits. Somebody photoshopped Durk in an orange jumpsuit doing a TikTok dance. Another person made an edit of him sitting in court while dramatic Bollywood music played in the background. The internet had no mercy, and every joke hit harder than the last. Even people who didn't know Durk existed were now experts in his life story because drama always brings out the digital vultures. As the day progressed, more twists dropped. Court insiders leaked that prosecutors were pushing hard. Fans interpreted this as either determination or desperation, depending on where they stood. Some said the system was terrified of letting a powerful rapper go free. Others said prosecutors smelled blood and weren't backing down until they made an example of him. Every update sounded like the cliffhanger of a TV series that refuses to end. Then came the bombshell testimony from someone. Nobody expected a name Durk fans instantly recognized. The courtroom shift was so intense that bloggers almost broke their keyboards. Comments exploded with theories about betrayal, loyalty, and who cracked under pressure first. Within minutes, clips of the testimony were circulating in chopped-up TikTok videos with dramatic captions like "This changes everything." It didn't matter that half the context was missing. People were already rewriting the narrative. And through all of this, Durk remained a mystery. Some said he looked calm. Others claimed he seemed defeated. A few blogs insisted he smirked at one point, which sent fans spiraling into 15-thread debates about what that smirk meant. Was he unfazed? Did he know something we didn't? Was he about to drop a diss track from behind bars? The guesses were so wild they could have been storylines in a soap opera. Outside the courthouse, chaos brewed like a storm. Fans gathered. Ops lurked. Paparazzi swarmed like mosquitoes. Supporters screamed his lyrics. Haters yelled accusations. Police stood ready for whatever madness popped off next. It felt like a music festival and a riot had a baby in the middle of a courthouse parking lot. Reporters couldn't even keep up with the crowd because every 5 minutes someone started shouting a new rumor. That's when the narrative took another sharp turn. Someone leaked that a major Chicago figure had shown up quietly at the courthouse. Someone who doesn't move unless something serious is happening. The moment that rumor hit blogs, people lost their minds. Suddenly, every outlet began running with the story as if it was confirmed. It didn't matter that no one had an actual photo. In the world of rap culture, whispers spread faster than facts. Celebrities began calling lawyers on live streams. TikTok creators made breakdown videos with dramatic lighting and ominous music. Twitter threads dissected the timeline. Instagram fan pages posted prayer circles. Even non-hip-hop bloggers who typically cover cooking shows suddenly became experts on the Chicago legal system. If clout was a sport, this scandal was the Olympics. But the twist nobody saw coming was the judge's reaction. Reports claimed the judge grew visibly irritated by the circus surrounding the case. Fans said that irritation spelled doom. Supporters insisted it meant nothing. Haters said it sealed Durk's fate. Nobody knew the truth, but everyone pretended they did. And that's when the courtroom leak dropped, the kind of leak that sends ripples across the entire industry, allegedly. Someone described the judge's tone as stern, decisive, and unwilling to entertain any distractions. That description set off alarms. Fans interpreted it as the court preparing to make a harsh example out of Durk. Ops interpreted it as justice finally catching up. Neutral watchers interpreted it as entertainment. The entire internet held its breath waiting for the next update just when people thought the storm couldn't grow any larger. Another twist emerged. A journalist hinted that Durk's legal team had one last move. Something unexpected, something they believed could change everything. Fans immediately created theories about hidden witnesses, secret recordings, or unreleased evidence. Haters claimed it was desperation disguised as confidence. The speculation spun out of control so fast that even the blogs couldn't keep up. And while all this digital frenzy was happening, Durk's rivals began posting subliminals so petty they could power an entire reality TV franchise. One posted snake emojis. Another posted a broken chain. Another post had "God don't play about me." Every post was vague enough to avoid direct smoke, but spicy enough for fans to interpret as shade. Of course, the internet ran with it, creating full novels about what each emoji meant by the end of the day. Nobody knew what was truth, what was rumor, or what was delusion. But one thing was clear. Durk's case wasn't just a legal matter anymore. It was a cultural event, a spectacle, a storyline gripping millions, a saga more dramatic than any rap beef, courtroom documentary, or primetime drama. And the next chapter, the one that decided everything was about to change, the root Steckstai, Ruby Kiss. Ruby Kiss, Ruby Kiss, only Ruby Kiss. Only Ruby Kiss has the luxurious texture. Desk stav, that glides unsped stive, tays. Meet, live stek. Live, muse, live sty. You steph, live stive, mused stive, you said. New sty staff, new staff, we said stive. We sell stives, we said bickless, by we lead by with us. You sell me sa said it to me to see lead me sa exad. Xkan me sa kai sa kai skaketa sit siko to sight sa let's to sit la to kaka sit da sit to sit Landscape of hip-hop forever. The courtroom may have delivered its verdict, but the real sentencing happened in the court of public opinion, where the internet acts like the judge, jury, an executioner with zero patience and unlimited Wi-Fi. The moment the news dropped, the digital streets turned into a parade of shock. Celebration, outrage, fear, and I told you so energy that could power an entire city. Lil Durk's fate wasn't just sealed by a judge, it was sealed by millions of people dissecting every rumor. Every headline, every screenshot, like they were solving a national conspiracy. The more people processed what happened, the more it felt like the climax of a saga nobody thought would reach this point. For years, fans watched Durk maneuver through the industry like a man dancing on a minefield. Every victory felt like he beat the odds. Every setback felt like a warning sign. And now, with the court's shocking twist, everything he built suddenly looked fragile, like a skyscraper built from playing cards during an earthquake. The reaction within the rap community hit even harder. Rappers who preached loyalty were suddenly quiet. Rappers who loved subliminals started posting cryptic messages about fake love and street karma. And the ones who usually talk the loudest became philosophers overnight, dropping long captions about how life changes when you're at the top. Fans knew exactly what they were doing, pretending to speak in general terms, while clearly addressing the bomb that just went off in Durk's world. Even those who hated him couldn't deny the impact. The culture shifted the moment the verdict came out. Durk wasn't just another rapper going through legal trouble. He was the face of Chicago drill evolution, the blueprint for surviving adversity, the man who turned pain into platinum records. So watching him fall wasn't just messy entertainment, it was a collapse that rippled across the entire genre. Meanwhile, Durk's inner circle scrambled like they were trying to keep a fortress from collapsing with duct tape and prayers. Some allies tried defending him, others acted confused. A few turned opportunistic, suddenly dropping interviews or exclusive insights like they had been waiting for this moment their whole lives. That's the thing about fame. The moment things go bad, everyone becomes a spokesperson. Even people who haven't spoken to you since the pandemic suddenly claim they know your deepest secrets. The fans, however, were the wildest part of the aftermath. Half the internet was devastated, calling it the downfall of a legend. The other half treated it like a season finale they wouldn't stop talking about. Memes flooded every platform. Some joked the judge must have been a young boy fan. Others made edits of Durk walking into court like he was entering the Hunger Games. It was chaotic, disrespectful, hilarious, and heartbreaking all at once, the internet's favorite cocktail. But beneath all the memes and chaos, a darker truth lingered. This sentencing didn't just affect Durk, it affected his children, his fiancé, his label, his artists, and every young person who looked up to him as proof that you could climb out of the trenches without falling back in. For the first time, his empire felt unstable. The deal-making slowed. The endorsements paused. The collaborations fell silent. Brands don't touch controversy unless they can profit from it. And this situation came with more risk than reward. Even more devastating was how the streets responded. People who once used Durk's name as a badge of loyalty suddenly watched from a distance, analyzing whether getting too close could bring unwanted attention. His enemies gloated online, while others whispered that the timing was too perfect, too clean, too convenient. Conspiracy theories started spreading faster than verified updates. Some claimed the system wanted to make an example out of him. Others said someone close to him might have betrayed him. The plot thickened every hour. Meanwhile, Durk's music surged back up the charts. Streams tripled. Old tracks resurfaced. Fans blasted his catalog like they were holding a digital vigil. That duality, downfall, and support created a strange atmosphere where the world was mourning and celebrating at the same time. It felt like watching a fire burn while people argued whether to put it out or roast marshmallows over it. Behind the scenes, industry insiders whispered about what comes next. Some predicted an appeal. Others predicted a comeback. Some said this might be the moment Durk transforms from a superstar into a martyr. A symbol of how unforgiving the system can be toward black men trying to escape their past. This narrative gained power quickly, especially once people began pulling up old interviews where Durk talked about trauma, loss, and the weight he carried from childhood into Spurs hair. As the dust settled, one thing became clear. This wasn't the end of Durk's legacy. It was the beginning of its next, darkest chapter. Because history shows that when artists hit rock bottom, that's when their most powerful stories get written. The question wasn't whether Durk would survive the fallout. The question was how the world would reshape around his absence and who would try to fill the vacuum he left behind. Some rappers tried stepping into the spotlight immediately, dropping surprise tracks or tweeting like they were ready to claim the throne. But fans weren't buying it. The public made it clear. Whoever tries to replace Durk while he's down will get dragged. Loyalty became a trend. Support became a badge of honor. People defended him like he was family. They said the industry turned its back too fast. They said the justice system failed him. They said the streets were whispering things nobody wanted to repeat. And through it all, the biggest question hovered in the air like a haunting echo. What exactly led to this twist? What went down behind closed doors? Who said what? Who flipped? Who pulled strings? Who benefited? The lack of clarity fed the fire, giving fans enough mystery to obsess over for months. Every rumor became a theory. Every theory became a storyline. Every storyline became a new layer of the Durk saga. What truly made the aftermath explosive wasn't the sentence, it was the shock factor. Nobody predicted this. Not the blogs. Not the fans. Not even the insiders who love spilling tea before it brews. And in an industry where leaks happen daily, a surprise verdict hits like a meteor. It reshapes everything. By the end of the week, you could feel the shift across the culture. Durk's allies closed ranks. His team worked overtime. The internet accepted the new reality. But nobody, not one person, believed this was the final chapter. If anything, the sentencing lit the fuse for an even bigger story. A retrial? A confession? A leak? A redemption arc? A war between fan bases? Nobody knew, and that's exactly what made the moment unforgettable. Because in hip-hop, the real drama never ends in the courtroom. It ends when the truth finally surfaces. And this truth hasn't even begun to unravel. And if you thought this courtroom saga was the final chapter in Lil Durk's long list of plot twists, think again. In hip-hop, the story never ends when the judge bangs the gavel. That's only the moment the universe hits the next episode button. Because, trust me, the fallout from this verdict is about to shake the culture harder than a surprise Kendrick diss at the Grammys. This case may be over, but the ripples are only just starting to hit the shore. So before the next revelation drops, before the next witness cracks, before the next tweet explodes, before the next headline makes you spit out your drink, do what needs to be done. Smash that like button like it owes you child support. Hit subscribe like you're trying to unlock a secret court document. And drop a comment telling me exactly what you think Durk's next move is. Because the streets are buzzing, the rumors are flying. And you already know this situation is nowhere near wrapped up. Every like boosts us in the algorithm. Every comment spreads the truth further. And every subscription keeps you front row on the wildest ride in rap culture. Because around here, scandals don't sleep. Charges don't disappear. Enemies don't relax. And fate. Fate always circles back with a plot twist nobody expected. Stick with us, because this isn't the channel that sugarcoats. This is the channel that dives headfirst into every leak, every lie, every courtroom whisper, every industry cover-up. Every street-level rumor with one mission: delivering reality louder, messier, and more unfiltered than the blogs could ever dare. This is where the truth gets loud. This is where the drama gets documented. This is where the culture gets decoded. Welcome to the Rap Truth, where the stories never end, and the truth always hits harder.